Hello and welcome back to our webinar once again, where we're sharing about Ballantyne Building Solutions and IntegraSpec ICF building system. So today we're going to talk a little bit about the environmental benefits, some advantages for the builder, and we're going to look at some example projects. And then we'll have a few closing remarks at the end. Thank you once again for joining us, and I hope you find this beneficial. So we're looking at the environmental benefits of constructing with ICF. As an illustration, if you consider the building envelope of your building as a boat, the hull of a boat, and if you have a hull of a boat and let's assume there's a few leaks in it. So what is the best or the first course of action that you would take? So if you have a few leaks in the hull of your building, are you going to spend some money and buy some solar panels to run a bilge pump to pump the water out? Or are you going to patch the leaks? I think it's very obvious that we patch the leaks first. And that's what ICF building is all about. It's about building the fabric of the building first and foremost with a high insulation value with zero leaks, and therefore you get a really super energy efficient building that's going to require much less carbon emissions over the life of the building. Again, ICF buildings are constructed with reinforced concrete, and we have a lifespan of well in excess of 100 years, probably many more years than that. So over the life of that building, the carbon footprint is going to be much less than any traditional build. We have claimed energy savings of up to 70% in the past, and we have real life examples where we can demonstrate that saving. So IntegraSpec use high impact polystyrene, which is 100% recycled for our inserts and our webs. Again, reducing our environmental impact. EPS is a byproduct of the oil industry. So we're using a byproduct there to make the foam. And then whenever it comes to the end of life, which as I've stated earlier, is going to be 100 plus years, all of the products that are in the building, the concrete and the EPS can be recycled. And due to the high energy efficiency of the building over the lifespan, the carbon footprint is much reduced. So these are very good environmental benefits that ICF have. The high thermal mass of the concrete has a very stabilizing effect on the indoor air quality and the indoor air temperatures. So you can choose your preferred option. We have a nice picture here of thermal imaging of two different houses. One was an IntegraSpec ICF house and the other is a timber frame. And I think the picture speaks for itself, and I know which house I would rather live in. So cutting your energy costs. With IntegraSpec, we can have U values from 0.23, and we can add additional insulation on the inside of the product and the cavity next to the concrete, which can bring our U value right down to 0.11, which is well below the passive house requirements. So we have a sealed building with low air change rates, and we have a very low thermal bridging figures because of the details around the windows and openings and thresholds and so on. Thermal bridging is much reduced. Our psi values for your SAP calculations can be very low. And so we can build to, we can achieve passive house standards, and we can build to this code for sustainable homes and achieve any level from level 3 right through to level 6 with the addition of renewables. And we can do that without having excessive wall thicknesses. So our standard block with a 6-inch concrete core can give a U value of 0.23. And then if we want to go to 0.11, So that block is 280, our standard block is 280 millimeters thick. So to go to 0.11, we had to add another 150 millimeters on that. So it's not a massively thick wall to achieve really, really low U values. So some advantages for the builder or developer. So we can have a fast-tracked construction time frame. There's immediately the follow-on trades can follow in right behind. Once we get the concrete poured, the plumbers, electricians, joiners can follow in right behind and carry on with their work. There's no delays, and we can get the floors on really quickly and progress with the build. Again, there's simple service installation. With our ICF panel, we have a thermal heat cutter or wire cutter, which we can use to track the wall for electrical products or plumbing if required. From the builder's perspective, there's less heavy plant and equipment required on site because of the easy handling of the product. There should be cost savings there with the reduced requirement for scaffolding in the early stage of the build. Also with the time savings if you take a whole development-wide view, they should be able to shave probably months off the whole build time frame, which is massive savings for a house builder. And of course, for the builder's reputation, you're going to have buildings that perform much better than any of your competition, because of the higher building performance standards that we offer. There's good housekeeping as well due to the lack of waste, and improved site safety again because of the manual handling. From an occupier's point of view with ICF, again we have low running costs, which is probably the most interesting to most homeowners. There's good acoustic performance, as I've mentioned earlier in some of my other webinars. The healthy indoor environment, this is some of the unadvertised benefits, shall we say, or unexpected benefits. Because you live in a really comfortable, warm environment, there's no mold or dampness, condensation, or anything like that. So you live in a really healthy environment. Again, fire resistance. With internally, we can achieve up to 3 hours and up to 4 hour fire ratings. And again, from external fire attack as well, we have really good performance. Rot and vermin, we don't have any issues with rotting timbers or termites. I don't know if we have those in this country, but again, we don't have that problem. Storm and windproof and earthquake proof. Mortgage and insurance acceptance as well. And again, it's a product that's easily adapted for future needs, for extensions, for example. Should you decide you want to add on, it's easy to adapt our building and add on another extension. And again, minimal maintenance required. These are benefits that the occupier will experience on an ongoing basis. So I'd like to share with you some photographs of existing projects that we've completed. So they vary from small extensions right through to bespoke individual homes, an apartment block, and even a youth centre. So we'd like to share with you. I know some of you architects out there be very interested in some of the details, standard details. So we have a few examples here of how we start off our walls from the foundation level, how we render up and around windows and the interface with the roof and how that's joined on. So we'll just have these appear. Well, hope you found the gallery of completed projects interesting and helpful. Just as a way of wrapping things up, ICF construction has been around for over 40 years, and IntegraSpec has been around since 1988. So we've got a long established history there. Some people think it's new. It's not really new. It's just new to you, and I hope you've learned a lot through the webinars. So ICF, or IntegraSpec specifically, provides an easy, cost-effective way to build low-carbon buildings. And IntegraSpec is the most versatile, lowest installed cost ICF on the market today. And we would be really delighted to answer any of your queries or questions. So please get in touch with our sales team or myself, and we will be delighted to help you in any way we can. Thank you very much.